Hey guys, today we're taking a look at my Gravekeeper deck. I've definitely been excited about, remaking my Gravekeeper deck since they updated and added new cards. So I changed it around a bit, added some of the new support, and having a lot of fun with it. It's definitely going well. If you aren't as familiar with Gravekeepers, Gravekeepers are an anti-meta deck. They're focused on limiting the opponent's use of the graveyard. And in addition, they're able to bring out, monsters with pretty good effects that gain big attack bonuses from their field card. So they just overall become a really good deck, locking down what your opponent can do while still bringing out constant beaters. So first off, we have 3 Gravekeeper Spy. Great card for this deck, searching out almost all the Gravekeepers and special summoning them. Very, very nice, especially 1200 2000 with Gravekeeper's bonus from Necrovalley is really good. And Gravekeeper's Descendant, really nice to blow up your opponent's cards. Not a big deal that you have to get rid of your Gravekeepers because of your use of recycling and summoning, especially in combination with Recruiter. So Recruiter, a Searcher, and again, you can just combo this with the Descendant and search out and blow up your opponent's cards, making really good plays very quickly. And then 3 Commandant, just searching out Necrovalley, but also being a very nice beater on top of what you're doing, which is just very good overall, especially with how you can recycle things. And then 2 Nobleman. I've seen some people run this at 1. Just nice to be able to search out things again. Just can be very helpful to set up what you need to do with those flip effects like Gravekeeper Spy. And then 2 Gravekeeper's Assailant, just helping you with battle, getting over your opponent's monsters really easily. And then 1 Gravekeeper's Heretic, helping you out because he's a beater without Necrovalley, and with Necrovalley, he starts annoying your opponent by, not being affected by card effects. Some people get confused by this card because they don't understand that he only will have 1800 attack with Necrovalley on the field, but that's how he works. So with or without Necrovalley, he still can be useful to the deck, which is why I like to run 1 of him. And then 1 Gravekeeper Shaman. So kind of the Malefic Stardust for this deck now, really protecting things. And later on in the duel, its defense starts to become really high. So very nice to try to protect things. And it's going to have the Necrovalley bonus on top of it, which is just going to make it a really good card. Single Tribute's not a problem because we can search out and special summon it. So not a big deal. For the spell cards, we have 3 Necrovalley, obvious, locking down your opponent and giving your Gravekeepers huge bonuses. 3 MST, back row very important to deal with. And then 2 Gravekeeper Stele. This is just really great that you can recycle from the graveyard, even though your opponent can't use the graveyard. 1 Allure of Darkness, 1 Pot of Duality, both giving us some draw power. 1 Book of Moon. Book of Moon good in a lot of decks, but especially good in this deck to reuse some of those effects. And Dark Hole. Debatable in this deck if you want to run Dark Hole because of this wanting to have the situation on the field, but I still like having 1 as a trump card. And then 1 Royal Tribute. This will win you games just really easily, blowing up your opponent. If they lose all their monsters and they can't use their graveyard, they won't have a lot of things they can do. So very, very powerful. For the traps, running 2 Imperial Tombs of Necrovalley, a very powerful counter trap. Whenever you have your right situation on the field, you're going to be able to negate whatever your opponent's doing. You could run 3 of this if you want. I've definitely seen some people run 3, so I might consider it. Very, very good. 2 Fiendish Chain, dealing with effects, and other staple traps. Not much to say there. So for the extra deck, we're going to have a few 3 stars. Zenmaines, Leviair to get our banished monsters back. Alucard helping us out a little bit. Obviously going to have a lot of 4 stars. Master Key Beetle, perfect for this deck. A dark deck that relies on field cards. It's just made for Master Key Beetle, so very useful. That's why we're running 2. Exciton Knight, Diamond Dire Wolf helping us. Silent Honor, Black Ship, Abyss Dweller, Maystroke, Steelswarm, again with the lockdown can be helpful. Gagaga Cowboy, Photon, and Evilswarm Ouroboros, just helpful because we have some additional swarming and power, so it could be an interesting card to use. Well, you can use like Violent Desigmy and other ones if you want as well. So now for the side deck, if you haven't seen a video of mine before, just so you know, my side decks are just kind of recommended cards that you can use in the deck if you want to use them. This isn't meant to be a side deck for matches. These aren't things I would expect you to side against for matches and stuff like that. It's not what the side deck is about. I just want you to think about these cards, if you want to build your own Gravekeepers deck. So these are some of the options you could think about. So obviously there are other Gravekeepers. Oracle, somewhat of the boss. Visionary also can be useful. I'm not the biggest fan of these guys, but maybe you can run 1 if you want. Definitely I wouldn't run more than 1 if you are going to run them. Guard is also a really interesting card. Really high defense, again with Necrovalley on the field, and bouncing things back can be very powerful nowadays, but it's really not helping us do completely what we need to do with the deck, so I guess it can be useful. It's really up to you if you want to run this or not, though. Mystic Tomato, before we had cards like Nobleman, I guess it could have been useful. It's just, now that we have all this searching and special summoning on our own, I don't really think you need to use Mystic Tomato. Malefic Stardust, another card that kind of got replaced by a Gravekeeper, so I wouldn't say to run this anymore. Tusakiyomi, you can use this to abuse the flip effects. End of Anubis is kind of like Necrovalley, another thing that can kind of help you out, so that's interesting. Darkroom Dragon in a dark deck can be useful. I think I was running this in my last Necrovalley Gravekeeper deck. There's a lot of other XYZs you can run. You can run Engineer to help protect things. You can run Evilswarm Nightmare, some of the other dark ones if you want to run that, so that's up to you. Can be interesting. Ones that help you lock your opponent down can be good. This is a spellcaster deck, so you could support it with spellbooks if you want, so that's another thing you could do. Safe Zone could be good for this deck. Obviously with Master Key Beetle, that's very powerful. Rite of Spirit, another Gravekeeper support card to special summon from your graveyard, so that can be useful. Darklight, another interesting trap you can use because it's not a big deal to tribute some of your Gravekeepers to blow up the special summon monsters, so that's definitely an interesting one. You could punish a lot of decks with a card like this. And Skill Drain really won't run in the way of this deck very much. It'll help you lock down your opponent and just blow them up, so that can be very nice. You can try to combo that in. Skill Drain just combos really well with Necrovalley, and that's something you could do with other deck types as well. So that's my Gravekeepers deck. Again, having a lot of fun with it. Really like the new support that was added, and I'm really looking forward to try to supplement it and add those new cards and see what it can do. But if you guys have your own Gravekeeper decks, you could post below in the comments. You can give me ideas for mine. Maybe there's some cards I didn't think about that could be useful for the deck, or you could just give me advice, things like that. But as always, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.